see people here again. It's been almost 2 years since our last show. I'm going to sit down. Is that okay? Yes. Before I close down? That's my size. I think I had to get a higher toilet seat. Other people here who are old enough to understand. I tell you, I think, I used to think when I was going to a public restroom, and there's all those bars and everything everywhere. And I used to think, Lord, I don't have to use those yet. But, in my bathroom on this edition that I built on the shop group, I don't need those bars. I can reach out and grab the sink with one hand and the shower with the other hand and pull myself out. But, put them on the couch with the sink in. Yeah, you know Mary.
Yeah, you know about it. Marion did too.
I knew Mary's mom and dad. They were part of a peace group in Rochester that used to have regular vigils on 2nd Street, on the corner of 2nd Street and Broadway. And did somebody say something? Or was that Rosie?
I don't remember.
They hear me talking and they wonder why I keep it back here. She knows I'm talking about her. Well, I'm not going to go on and on because I have enough trouble breathing to have to be talking at the same time. It's been a long, crazy year. And I'm a little worried that if things aren't they're going to get even more chaotic, after that verdict in Kenosha. I'm not going to Wisconsin anymore. It's an open season on people who are protesting. It just kind of, opens things up for people to take a gun and go to a protest, and that's scary. And it might end up where people who are upset about this young guy walking around with an AR-15 going to a protest, a Black Lives Matter protest. What did we unleash? I don't know if it was us, but we have to realize that a bunch of people in this country, neighbors of ours and whatever, elected Donald Trump because he said that kind of stuff. And I think he put a couple, husband and wife couple from Kansas City that he put up on his stage when he was campaigning because they pulled guns on protesters that walked in front of their yard. And they call themselves Christians, right? Sounds like something Jesus would do, huh? Well, I was just mentioning, we were having a discussion with Mary. I joined a Mennonite church in Rochester. I wasn't raised Mennonite, I was raised EUB. Anybody know what that is?
Evangelical United Brethren.
Evangelical United Brethren. So the Brethren are Anabaptists too, which the Anabaptists started, all those churches started in the Alsace-Lorraine region of Switzerland and France back at about the same time. There must have been something in the water. They all said, this whole Inquisition, Crusades thing and whatever, it's going on the wrong path. And they started to try and live authentically according to what Jesus was teaching. The Sermon on the Mount, the blessed are the peacemakers and the poor in spirit. And then there was no blessed are the arrogant and the billionaires in there. It was all totally the opposite. They said, we need something that's. So they started to try and live the way the early Christians lived. And in the Mennonite church, I feel free to question whether or not, Christ was the first Son of God. And whether there were some daughters of God that came first, and really if somebody is going to be a messenger from God, they have to speak in the kinds of things that God would want us living. You know, all humans were created by the same force that created this planet and the earth. I don't think if you can't take care of the creation and love everybody else in the creation, then you don't understand who God is. And at least you've got a different God. God didn't make you in God's, and I don't think God is a he. You know, God in his image, and God is a woman, and she's a man. But I had a long debate with a Lutheran pastor in Millville about whether or not God was a man or a woman. Oh, that's crazy. We make up God in our own minds, but you know, all you got to do is understand who God is go outside in the spring or in the fall or any time of year and get away from the city. And if you think about it, all of the great prophets had their communications with God when they were out in the wilderness or when they were away from the city. They're out in the desert, they're out in the shepherds are out in the fields. You know, that's when you hear the angels. That's when I hear the angels. When do you hear the angels? Right now.
God is love.
God is love, yes. Really. God is love is one of the things. Well, anyway, I'm sorry Kyle Rittenhouse couldn't show up to provide security for this meeting. So just you're on your best behavior to not rush the stage and crush everybody when Curtis and Loretta get up there. Oh, God. Are we live with anybody else ready to take some kind of anti-psychotic drugs to try to cope with this moment? Yeah, well, that's why we do this. And that's why, you know, Curtis and Loretta are the reason that we decided to do them for the first show. Because they're some of the most loving and honest and peaceful people we know, and at the same time, good musicians. So, in fact, Loretta, I think, is going to mention Jerry Rowe. Anybody here familiar with Jerry Rowe, the Minnesota minstrel? There's some of what do you want to call it, an obituary, but
Yeah, there's an obituary and a program.
From his funeral. His funeral was live streamed from St. Joan of Arc Church, where he used to be a member. Which church was it that Jerry fasted in when the El Salvador and when Ronald Reagan was?
It's the St. Paul Capital.
Yeah, that's St. Mark's or something, wasn't it?
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, Jerry was a Vietnam vet, came back from Vietnam, and he was one of the founders of Vets Disease. And he served a term in Vietnam back in the early 60s, when it was still pretty crazy, and it stayed crazy all the way until LBJ thought he could live that way. That was. Anybody else here have a draft number back then? What was your number? Mine was 35. Yeah, I got good grades. And I wrote a letter to my local draft board in Blue Earth. Anybody heard of a town called Blue Earth?
Amen.
I was embarrassed to tell
My father
people I
was
was
a
going to Blue Earth. In fact, I would say, when I got to college, they said, where are you from? And I'd say, well, do you know where Minneapolis is? And they'd say, yeah, are you from Minneapolis? And I'd say, no, do you know where Mankato is? Yeah, are you from Mankato? No. Well, where are you from? And I'd say, Blur. And when I slowed it down and said, Blue Earth, this is right when they're doing the first Earth Day in Chicago. People went, wow. It's so cool. And you think about it, there's blue earth, and, unfortunately, the earth is not being treated like it's sacred anymore. But I did grow up in Blue Earth. I was in the biggest town in Faribault County, which wasn't in Blue Earth County. It was in Faribault County, and Faribault was in some other county, and Mankato was in Blue Earth County. So but the first girl I met at college, when she asked me who are your favorite bands, some of you probably remember those bands. I told her, Mothers of Invention, Frank Zappa, Mothers of Invention, and Country Joe and the Fish. Country Joe, I just got that Fixin' to Die song, And she said, well, what do you do after school? I said, well, my brother and I, ride horses, or we go out down to the Blue Earth River and hunt and trap, and we catch those fuzzy, furry little animals, rip their skins off and sell them for money. I didn't put it that way. I said, we trap for furs. She said, wow, you really are good. So that became a band. But anyway, that was a real eye-opening time for a boy from a little town in Minnesota. That was the year of 1968 is when I showed up in Chicago. I breathed a lot of tear gas and watched cops beating on people with sticks and people in the street chanting power to the people. It was a change, a real interesting time to show up here. Anybody see that movie, the Chicago 7? It didn't start out with Chicago 7, it was the Chicago 8. Because they took Bobby Seale out of the courtroom because he wouldn't keep quiet. And gave him a separate trial. They had him Crosby, Stills, and Nash. Though your brother's bound and gagged, they had him chained to his chair with a gag in his mouth. No photographers allowed in the court, so they had people in there drawing pictures and feeding them out to the newspapers. But, it was definitely an interesting time, and now we're in very peaceful, sane times, right?
Oh, yeah, we're gonna keep.
Well, don't go to Kenosha. All right, well, I guess let's get these wonderful people up on the stage. You can tell which one of these guys is Curtis and which one is Loretta.
Yeah, I'm Curtis. I don't know, I thought I'd be some kind of example of where I have to admit, I haven't found it to be such a hardship to wear masks. It's like, I realized a couple of years ago my beauty contest days were probably over. Number one, and number two, I've always been a proponent of less faces better, I know there are a few fashionable guys out there. I'm just stalling while Loretta puts her heart mic in here. Yeah, I was just talking to some nice folks over there, and it's like, really, I don't really even feel like, this is like our show tonight. This is just an occasion. It's a privilege to be here. Resurrecting, it's kind of a Lazarus thing, bring this wonderful, wonderful room and this special spot on the earth back to life. And I'd like to give all the volunteers that got here and cleaned out this room. And there's a bunch of them. Put up your hands. And I have to say, Loretta has been phoning Steven for the last year or two going, yeah, that would be nice to do that on that day. But anyway, I think she's just about got her set up there. Yeah, my gosh, Leonard Cohen, all the people that we've lost just in the last year and a half, John Prine. Peter Ostrusco, Jerry Rao, yeah. We'll dedicate this to all of them. This is a new song. Let me see, how many people have seen us before? I'm just curious.
A few.
Oh, good, we can play some old songs too. We're going to try a few brand new songs tonight, but you hate to keep playing your old songs too much. This is a brand new song. We'll dedicate this to Jerry. He was just the epitome of what this kind of music is about, his whole life. It was an honor and a privilege to know him.
Yeah, we played this at his memorial. I wrote this, not for him, but I wrote it a while ago, and we were singing at his memorial in the cities, and as we were singing, I just thought, this is about Jerry today. So anyway, it's called Beauty of the Song.
Or Duty of the Song.
Say my precious never end, once essence, and so I pray the words I write are worthy of the rhyme. All these tools that I forged were gifted to me by and large. I gathered truth from the world and waved it like a flag unfurled. I stitched together words from the pictures that I heard. They say vibrations never end, once essence, and so I pray the words I write are worthy of the rhyme. I will miss you when I'm gone, for I love to sing you songs. If my words spoke to you, or someone they helped you through, please pass that too along. That's the beauty of the song. They say vibrations never end, once essence, and so I pray the words I write are worthy of the rhyme. If my words spoke to you, or somebody helped you through, please pass that tune along. That's the beauty of the song. That's the beauty of the song. Duty of the song. Beauty of the song.
Well, Loretta is a Minnesota native from Stillwater, and here, one of our last recording, we're just starting to work on another, and we got a grant. Thank God for the state of Minnesota to help us pay for part of this next recording, which will be wonderful. But the last one we did was all biographical ballads, you see. And this is one she will tell you is...
It's a love song for my parents.
She says it's a love song for her parents. Now, I listened to the song. See, I love ballads because they are open to interpretation, you see. And I listened to the song, and I thought, she said love song for parents. I thought it was a song about scandalous marriage.
Well, it was the 40s, and there was some scandal.
Oh, ever since Shakespeare, marriage is like Romeo and Juliet, and the 1960s interracial marriage was a big deal. We got our issues nowadays as well. But in the 1940s, like she says, this was called a mixed marriage.
Because
a Catholic married a Lutheran.
And But we have a version of this on YouTube, and just the other day, someone posted on there, they said, this is our story. We got married in the 1990s, a Christian and a Jew. And she said, our family was the same, like, oh my God, this is terrible. But, so.
But love is an amazing thing. It just,
Why? Why would it still be an issue? But it is. It can be. So, this is their song.
Decades together, yeah. And he was like 18 years older than her.
She was 21, he was 38.
She was from Scandia, Minnesota, little bitty town. He was from the big city of Stillwater where they had like plumbing and everything.
Seriously, on the farm, they didn't have plumbing.
Around town they were saying, she's just marrying that old man for his plumbing,
And she did get plumbing and electric lights, so there you go. That's not why she married him. This is for Cletus and Mildred. It's called On the Day They Said I Do.
Brick house with plumbing too. His family had it built brand new. Catholic college businessman, and every way a gentleman. He crossed the sea in 44, courtesy of the World War. Swedish girl with quiet charm, she was born up on the farm. Light brown hair and eyes of blue. Sang a Lutheran choir too. She filled the lamps with kerosene, milked the cows, cooked and cleaned. She finished school in 44. She worked the fields and dreamed of more. Some said yes, some said no. She's too young, he's too old. City boy and country girl. Different churches, different world. But on the day they said I do, they only heard I love you. In Thanksgiving 45, he came home thankful he was alive. His 5 and dime goes by the war, so he worked at Reed's drugstore. She moved to town in the spring. A hospital had an opening for room and board and a little more. She passed trays of on the floor.
Good to see you.
She went into Reed's one day. He waited on her when she paid. As she walked away down Main, just stole a glance back his way. He was standing in the door to see where she was headed for. She looked down and walked away, but they knew it was their first day. Some said yes, some said no. She's too young, he's too old. City boy and country girl. Different churches, different world. But on the day they said I do, they only heard I love you. She was in the Grand Cafe when he came in one autumn day. They shared a booth, brown eyes and blue. He walked her back to the hospital. He took her to the matinee the very next Saturday. Suit and tie, yellow dress, they both wore their very best. Christmas Eve in gentle snow, he showed up laughing, ho ho ho, bottle of perfume in hand. Would she take She's too young, he's too old. City boy and country girl, different churches, different worlds. But on the day they said I do, they only heard I love you. I love you. I love you.
I love you.
I love it. We were married for 50 years, and it was actually my mom's side of the family, the Lutherans, that her mother that ended up disowning her. But I'm so proud of them. They went ahead and did it. Didn't listen to anybody else.
Well, these days, I almost wish that I was going to live an extra 100 years. I'd love to see historians dealing with this time period we're living in.
Yeah, what are the history books going to say about our
God.
time?
It's going to be interesting, you know. And the thing is, when you look back and you study history, you know, you can either be really embarrassed by the things that human beings have done, or you can, you know, hopefully learn something from mistakes that were made. But occasionally you stumble across a real gem, a wonderful thing. It doesn't happen that much, but in this case, we're going to do. We were looking for a political song, you know, that we could play wherever we went. There's a word for that. A bipartisan political song. And we found this one. Now, this was written by Minnesota. So, anybody ever been to Hutchinson, Minnesota?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Well, see, that was partially founded by a Swiss singing family in the mid-1800s. Now, they were the rock stars of their day. And the Hutchinsons were absolutely one of the most famous of this traveling all over the country, Swiss singing families. Now, their audiences considered them to kind of be radicals, but they were so good at their music they would go see them anyway. They were for like women's rights and you know, like the 6-day work week and unheard of things at the time.
Abolition.
Abolition.
It's crazy ideas.
But people went to see him, and they were accredited with Making My Darling Nellie Gray, the famous song it was. But, and this, one of the younger Hutchinsons wrote this song we're going to play.
Wrote the words.
But in 1855, this is so cool. This is that sparkling historical thing I was talking about. When they founded the town of Hutchinson, Minnesota, they gave women the right to vote in 1855.
I think they took the right to vote. Who gave it to them? I don't get that.
Good for you.
I think they all sat down.
They
and
were
wrote the
probably
charter.
writing the town charter, and the women were the only ones that knew how to write.
I think they all got together and said, this is how it's
No,
done.
but that's cool. You know, I mean, that was like
I don't know.
decades
That's so
before
cool.
it happened nationally.
And Jesse Hutchinson Jr. wrote the words to this. This is Lincoln's campaign song from 1860, and he set it to a traditional Irish tune, Rosin the Bow.
Everybody seems to be okay with this song.
Yeah, I don't like it.
Hurrah for the choice of the nation now, heroes so brave and so true. We'll go for the great Reformation, for Lincoln and liberty too. We'll go for the son of Kentucky, the hero of who should look through. The pride of the suckers so lucky for Lincoln and liberty too. We'll find what by felling and mauling now railmaker statesmen can do. All the people are everywhere calling for Lincoln and liberty too. And up with the till our banners victorious, for Lincoln and liberty too. Our David's good sling is on Mary, the slave oak has giant he slew. We'll shout for the freedom, preferring for Lincoln and liberty too. Hello for the son of Kentucky, the hero of Hoosier and through. The pride of the suckers, so lucky for Lincoln and liberty too. And up with the banners so glorious, the stars spangled red, white, and blue. Let's fight till our banners victorious, for Lincoln and liberty too. For Lincoln and liberty too.
Old Lincoln. Yeah, you know, let's do a sing-along.
Okay.
Yeah, get your guitar. Yeah, people want to sing, don't you? Yeah. We were talking about Jerry Rao, and it just reminded me, and I was talking to Steven about this, the very first time we played here, Jerry Rao, he was so encouraging to younger musicians. He brought us down here to play for a benefit for Oak Center. Sometime in the 90s, maybe the early 90s, he brought us and Rhodey Tate and his bandmates and somebody else. And we had heard about this place forever. We thought, oh, we'd love to play at Oak Center. He brought us down here and introduced us to Steven. And so the very first time we played here was with Jerry on stage, too. He was very encouraging. The very first time we met him was at the New Riverside Cafe at Cedar and Riverside in Minneapolis. And we're playing, it was like the early 80s, I mean, mid-80s, maybe we're just getting started playing together. And we look up and there's Jerry Rao in the audience. We're like, because he's like the godfather of folk in Minneapolis. We were so, and we talked to him afterwards, and he was so friendly and encouraging. He said, "You sound great." And he gave us, and he helped us get some gigs, this one and some other ones. So here we go.
We've met Pete Seeger, and really, those two really remind me of a lot of life. Just really, just such real human beings.
And no ego. He wasn't like, some musicians are, I'm not going to tell them about my gigs, steal my gigs. He was never like that. Anyway, go ahead.
All right, so, yes, we are folk musicians, and it's our duty to get you to sing along. This is going to be easy work tonight, I know.
Yeah.
But still, I mean, there's a lot of ways to get people, techniques that we use. One more time. You'll sing an old ballad with like 40 verses, and nobody will sing. But when you get to the chorus the last time, you say one more time, and people go, thank God. And they go, and I'll start singing along, and then being professional folk musicians, we know another 10 or 12 verses. Anyway, but if you sing along on this song, now of course we are going to teach you your part, you'll have to memorize it, all that stuff. But if you sing along on this song, it will be like receiving a free medical procedure.
And isn't that why you came down here tonight?
Free medical.
Up here, wherever you came from. You better tell them what procedure it is, Curtis. Nobody else signed up.
Well, I know it's really expensive. I know it's very expensive, but I'm not sure what they call it. Still, we pay a lot of money. You come into a room full of people you probably don't really know, and you all complain as hard as you can, from as deep as you can, until you realize what you're complaining about is likely your own fault.
You know what that's called? Group therapy.
Group therapy.
And we're going to do it. It's painless, really. I mean, physically.
All right, we're going to teach you your part, okay? You got to memorize this.
Okay, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Some of you know this. This is part of it, okay? We're sure to do this part. We're watching. We can see some of you in the front.
Doesn't wear if you're wearing a mask. I can still tell whether or not you're singing along.
All right, so let's practice.
All right, everybody.
After 4, ready? 1, 2, 3, 4.
I feel more cured every time I sing it. It makes you feel good. It's like going ho ho ho. Do we have any attorneys in here? Do we have any incognito
Somebody's
lawyers?
raising their hand over there.
Is it? Is it illegal to dispense medical procedures without a license? Don't answer that.
Now you're gonna have to send him a bill for
I'm gonna give him 50 cents and he can't tell anybody I said that. We'll dedicate this to you. This is Loretta wrote this song. It's called Somebody I Could Sue.
You can try to sue almost anybody.
Don't try and sue a folk musician.
Alright, so I'll point at you when it's your turn. After each chorus, we're gonna get you to join in. Ready?
Okay.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Na 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 na. Janie did it, don't blame me. I learned that when I was 3. I wouldn't play, she called me quitter. Made me so mad I had to hit her. This happens every single time. They should arrest you for this crime. You buy a gallon of ice cream and I eat it till my thighs would scream.
When you got no one to blame but yourself,
Oh, you'd sure like to pin it on somebody else. There must be somebody I could sue, somebody I could pass this buck. Na 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 na. Pass me going way too fast and cut me off so I hit the gas. I stuck to him close as I could. He slowed down and smashed my wood. It's not my fault, don't look at me. What a stupid place to plant a tree. And just back up, what can I say? It was standing right there in my way.
when you got no one to blame but yourself,
Oh, you'd sure like to pin it on somebody else. There must be somebody I could sue, somebody I could pass this buck. Yeah, na, 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 na. This to me all the time. Don't get your way and then you whine. So I get mad, don't talk for days. I'll show you, I'll make you pay. Why won't you just end this fight? Do it my way, do it right. You never listen to a word. I have the others to be heard.
when you got no one to blame but yourself,
Oh, you'd sure like to pin it on somebody else. There must be somebody I could sue, somebody I could pass this buck. Yeah, na, 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 na. Oh, my lawyer life's not fair. Where's my success? Where's my share? I'm stuck down in this endless rut because no one will pick me up. The world's got it in for me. I burned myself in hot coffee. I lost my cash and Powerball. And how come you never call?
when you got no one to blame but yourself,
Oh, you'd sure like to pin it on somebody else. There must be somebody I could sue, or somebody I could pass this buck. Yeah, na, 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 na. Somebody I could pass this buck. Na, 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 na.
You're good sports. I love that. Thank you. Thanks for helping us out. Should we do one more in harp, or should we just switch? You gotta be careful with harp.
I can't see that part.
This is a folk harp, or a Celtic harp that I'm playing. And the main difference is, of course, a little smaller than the big concert harp. The main difference is, besides being smaller, it doesn't have pedals on the bottom, like piano pedals. But in a harp, they actually change the key you're playing in. If it has pedals, it's sharps or flats, each string a half step. And I got no pedals down there, it's pedal free. But up here, I have levers, and so when I'm sharping these levers, I'm getting in different keys. Okay, let's do one more in harp.
We'll do one more in
You gotta
harp.
be careful because it gets kind of
A
relaxed.
follow-up is sing-along with a sing-along. You know, you think that this is another song from the mid-19th century. Stephen Foster, who of course wrote Susanna and Can't Count Races and I Dream of Jeannie, and this is his true masterpiece, certainly in my opinion. And I think many of you know it, so I'm hoping you'll sing the chorus with it. You think when a song gets to be 160, 170 years old, that it should certainly be preserved as a beautiful piece of American art. But you would think that its relevance would be, you know, it might not be relevant anymore. And sometimes for better or worse, they are. And so this is, I believe from the late 1850s. I think I recognize it.
Yeah, I
Song-
might know this. Help us.
Great songs are almost a prayer, just about every time. And count the many tears like a song sung, sorrow with the poor. 'Tis our song that will linger forever in our ears. No hard times come again no more. 'Tis our song, the sigh of the weary. Hard times come again no more. Many days you have lingered around my cabin door. Oh, hard times come again no more. Though we seek mirth and beauty and music bright and gay, there are frail forms waiting at the door. Their voices are silent, and pleading eyes will say, no hard times come again no more. 'Tis our song, the sigh of the weary. Hard times come again no more. Many days you have lingered around my cabin door. Oh, hard times come again no more. 'Tis our sigh that is echoed across the lonely wave. 'Tis a gale that is heard upon the shore. 'Tis our dirge to be murmured around the lonely grave. No hard times come again no more. 'Tis our song, the sigh of the weary. Hard times come again no more. Many days you have lingered around my cabin door. Oh, hard times come again no more. No hard times come again no more. Oh, hard times come again no more. See, there's hope, there's hope.
Yeah, I'm gonna move to the other side of the stage. You probably wondered who the third person in our band was. It's just me. I'm gonna go over and play guitar. Makes Curtis the centerpiece. He likes it. But I have a couple announcements before I go over there. You probably already know when you came in downstairs and got your ticket. Okay, all right. You gotta speak up, Curtis. He's trying to whisper and I can't. They told me that we're having a drawing tonight, a raffle for the poinsettias, which are on stage, are these beautiful poinsettias, and they sold raffle tickets downstairs, $1 a piece, and if you haven't gotten one yet, you can, or some, whatever you want to buy, you can get them up at the counter here, and at the very end of the night, we'll draw 2 names, and people will take those poinsettias home. They are beautiful, just in time for the holidays, and Curtis has another announcement.
Well, we hope you enjoy these songs, but tonight is an opportunity for you to go home with unparalleled love and faithfulness. And oh wait, we're not giving away puppies. That's right. These are cats.
Oh, they're cats.
There are the coolest little kitties down there. If anybody needs, I already picked one out. Yeah.
Except our dog would kill it if we
Yeah, other than that, you know.
But
what a chance for true love. True love, that's what it is, yeah. You could have true love tonight, and you could just take a kitty with it.
some of you saw them when we came in, and so the deal with the cats is there's several. There are 6 little kittens. They're available, but they're not ready yet. They'll be ready they're 4 weeks old, so around Christmas they'll be ready to go home to their forever home with somebody.
They have not lost their mothers.
No, they haven't lost their minds.
They all come with farm degrees and mousing. Yeah, they finished their degrees and they're ready to go out into the world now and go to work.
Yeah, and Steven would like to just give them away, but hopefully whoever took them would give a donation to spay the mother. The mother has had 3 litters already. You saw her, she's just a little kitty. So she really needs to be spayed, and if you would make a donation toward that, then you could have a kitten. So anyway, if you're interested in a kitten and they're so cute, talk to Steven or somebody at the desk during their mission or afterwards.
And don't worry about being a pig, you know. Take 2. We won't call you a kitty pig. It's all right. Now we're going to do a song here now. You know, it's been interesting times we're going through, you know. But do we have any thrift store treasure hunters here? Oh yeah, my people. I especially like Halloween because they like save stuff all year round and they put it right in the middle of the store around Halloween. And I think the idea is you're supposed to like create your own individual Halloween costume. But I found a lot of what I wear every day, you know, during that time of year. But a couple of years ago, when the last time we still had Halloween, well, the time before, okay, I found a 1940s top-of-the-line big department store. I mean, it was the real deal Santa Claus outfit. And we had 2 tiers of steps coming up to our little old Victorian house. And so on Halloween night, I put on my Santa outfit. I got my biggest stuffed chair. I put it up at the top of the steps. And I put all my candy in a white canvas laundry bag. And I sat there on Halloween night. And the little kids, they would run up that first set of steps with their bags and their buckets out, you know. And then they would look up. And their eyes would get huge. And their jaws would drop. And they would proceed up that next set of steps with this incredible reverence, you know. And before they could even say trick or treat, I'd say, "Have you been good this year?" And they were in shock to see Santa Claus on Halloween, and they said, "Not all the time." And I said, "Well, you told the truth. That's worth like a handful of candy. You know, you told the truth. Besides, you know, you got time till Halloween. You can still, till Christmas, you can still be good." And she watched me doing this, and she wrote this song, which is embarrassing for me to play.
Because that's a love song. Curtis and I are married to each other. We've known each other for 44 years. We met each other in 1977, played music for 10 years,
And
we
we've
got
been
married
married for
almost 35 years.
almost 35
I
years.
have to remind you. So this is Curtis's song called Santa Claus on Halloween.
35th anniversary. Isn't that like your cardboard anniversary?
I don't think so. I think it's rubies or something, diamonds, I don't know.
I think it's
Somebody
cardboard.
Google that for us.
Hold the chicken, hold the meat, just serve him up whole wheat. Never try to trim his beard, scissors are his only fear. He waits on me like I'm a queen, he's Santa Claus on Halloween, he's one of a kind. That boy of mine, the world pulls at us from all sides, but he stands strong, listening inside. He likes loving on the sea, to stand by you, to stand by me, he's one of a kind, that boy of mine. They keep their ivy halls and the mega shopping malls. The junk store is his favorite place, Hawaiian shirts and a tweed suitcase. He doesn't own a suit or tie except one from 1895, he's one of a kind, that boy of mine. The world pulls at us from all sides, but he stands strong, listening inside. He likes loving on the sea, a stand by you, a stand by me, he's one of a kind, that boy of mine. He doesn't tax
loving on the ski and stand by me.
That stand by me is one of a kind.
That boy of mine.
He'd give you his last dime. He works hard all the time. He likes deals and bartering. That's how he got a wedding ring. He can fix up on guitar, but not so much on a car. He's one of a kind.
That boy of mine. The world pulls at us from all sides,
But he stands strong.
listening inside. He likes loving on the sea and stand by you.
That stand by me is one of a kind.
That boy of mine.
He's one of a kind.
That boy of mine.
Oh, he's my own.
That boy of mine.
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's get, you got a ukulele player or something? Oh, that means they do. Okay, I'm gonna, yeah.
Okay.
We're gonna do a couple more songs and call it set, take a break,
Yeah. Get those raffle tickets.
buy some stuff from the store, get some raffle tickets. Oh. Anybody ever hear of the prom ballroom? Well, it was the place for decades, since the 1930s when these were made. Cab Calloway, Louis Armstrong, Frank Sinatra, Johnny Cash, all the Dorseys, and everybody played there. And in the end, it got all old and rickety, and that's where all of the rock and roll concerts were in the 1960s. And you guys are so special for coming tonight. If you just ask, I have these pieces of history here. These are 1930s prom ballroom coat checks
Coat check discs.
with numbers on them. You're welcome to them.
In case
A
one
little
piece of
commemorative for your great help here tonight.
Curtis loves
In
finding
this
things.
hallowed hall of music.
He loves finding historic little oddities like that. All right, so we'll get off the uke.
So when we travel around the country, we try to promote Minnesota products,
You know, oh yeah. Like what, Curtis?
Yeah, y'all. I'm born in Texas, But anyway, so we're gonna try. It's not really fair. It's not fair, Wisconsin. Beer and cheese. That's not too hard to promote. But we'll play out a little jingle for you here. See what you think.
I'm gonna play on the eggs and the can. This is a can zoo. Our friend Sid Skalroot, you might know her. She's in the ukulele society, which has done stuff with Mabotna. And her band made this for me. It's a kazoo glued inside of a can. So it's like so cool. It's a can zoo.
She's just trying to upstage my little national shame. Next to you, the sand bread, but if you is. I can really put it down.
Down where? Yeah, no, you should say at the end, lutefisk, that's what's for supper.
Are any of you living in innocent bliss? Who does not know what lutefisk is? It's kind of a public warning thing. You know, I mean, the holidays are coming up.
Well, we're gonna end
One
up,
more tune and end up this.
yeah, we'll end up the set with something on banjo, and remember to get your, yeah, remember to get your raffle ticket and talk to Steven or anybody back there about the kitties. And we do have CDs for sale. For years and years, they're $15, and now they're,
We had a radical marketing concept. Charge $10.
yeah, they're lower priced. Now they're $10. Like they're on sale perpetually now, $10. And we have an email list. We'd love for you to sign it, and we'll let you know when we're back in the area. Nobody gets to see your email address, even Curtis. I don't even let him see the list, and I won't give him. I won't give anybody your email.
I have never sent an email in my life.
Seriously, or a text.
I am an email
Seriously.
virgin.
Well, we're going to end up this set with a song called Wilmer 8 that I wrote for our last CD.
The Ballad of Wilmer 8.
Anybody remember that situation up in the 1977 in Wilmer, Minnesota? 8 women went out on strike at this bank because several times it happened that the bank hired a young man with no banking experience, brought him in and said to the woman, now you train him in and teach him all you know, that he's going to be your manager. And they found out he was making twice as much money. And they were never allowed to apply for these jobs. And the first few times, they're Minnesotans, so they're like, well, whatever. They didn't complain. We don't make waves.
That
The
happened
fourth
3
time,
times. Yeah.
the fourth time, they went in and complained to the bank president. And Curtis plays the bank president in the song.
Typecast.
And they didn't get any satisfaction there, so they formed their own little union, 8 of them. And they went broke, they lost all their friends in town. And I interviewed Glennis Terwisha, one of the women that was going to Wilmer 8, and she said, but what kept them going was their solidarity with each other and letters from across the country as it got on national news. Then there would be a little donation in the card from people, like a couple bucks, $5, that's what they were living on. And Glennis Terwisha just passed away, I found out, August 31st. She was like 62 years old or something, and so we lost her. But another one who was older is gone. But the other 6 still live up in the Wilmer area, so.
We were able to do a discussion and music concert with all of the remaining ladies. It was a very important thing that happened in that little bitty town.
It's pretty cool. And if you look at our YouTube page, there's the whole panel discussion of us with, were there 4 or 5 of the Wilmer 8 where we were at this discussion, talking about all the inside stories. I mean, it was like a lot more stuff than I could put in this song. The inside, behind the scenes stuff.
The Ballad of the Wilmer 8,
Or, we are all equal, you know.
Glennis heard the women talking in the vault one day. The bank just hired another man at nearly twice our pay. We're supposed to train him and teach him all we know. Then he will be a manager just like it always goes. Wilmer was a little farm town, they weren't feminists. But this is just plain wrong, they said to that big president.
We are not all equal, you know, men need to earn more, so they can take girls out on dates.
Words just left them
That was a
flowing.
national quote the poor guy said.
Glennis and the X7 formed their own union. In 77 they went on strike, it was Bank Local 1. Journalists and TV cameras came to investigate. In Minnesota, bitter cold, they were the Wilmer 8.
From across the country, across the world, letters came from women and from girls. The whole globe is watching you. It's starting now to improve. You are doing this for all of us. Please don't stop, keep on, you must. We must sing, it must be told. We are all equal, you know.
Glennis wore a snowmobile suit as she walked the line. Her eyelashes kept freezing shut a record winter time. Snow nor rain nor sun heat now, nothing kept them down. Though lots of folks had given up,
We want peace in this town.
they survived on 5s and 10s from folks who wrote thank you. When Glennis was flat broke, she said, I don't know what I'll do. She put her head down in her hands and Terrence said softly, well, I can help you out this week. Next time it could be me.
From across the country, across the world, letters came from women and from girls. The whole globe is watching you. It's starting now to improve. You are doing this for all of us. Please don't stop, keep on, you must. We must sing, it must be told. We are all equal, you know.
Nearly 1 year and a half they walked the picket line. The judge ruled it was over and they lost in 79. A woman from another bank said it's better since your strike. Loretta said then we have won. You can't lose when you're right. Dora, Shirley, Sandy and Irene, Glennis, Terrence, Sylvia and Jane. The whole globe is watching you.
It's starting now to improve. You are doing this for all of us. Please don't stop, keep on, you must. We must sing, it must be told. We are all equal, you know. We are all equal, you know.
I've been back since So Peace Church, is that church on,
Yes. Well, we'll have a little, kind of a short set to end up this beautiful night. Hopefully.
It is so
As I
exciting
start talking to
to
them.
see people in here on these seats again and music on the stage. It's like, it's so cool. We waited a long time. It's worth it. It's worth it for sure.
We are so happy and proud that you folks came out tonight. So bless your hearts. Yeah. We'll start out with another one of Loretta's beautiful, ethereal songs. Yes, indeed. Lift the World. This definitely is a song that was written during this COVID-19 period.
All my gold will slip away and my karma come to pay. I might just wake up someday and see the guitar that I play. When the day is all through, nothing more that I can do. One thing I have learned is true, I turn, and there it's always you.
You lift the world from my shoulders, spin it gently, turn it over. You set it down, out of the way.
Just like a dream, the world fades away.
Just like a dream, the world fades away.
I may travel near and far, sail the seas to Zanzibar. I might just walk out the door and be content in my backyard. When the race is all done, when the time has begun, meet you in the setting sun of command. We walk as one.
You lift the world from my shoulders, spin it gently, turn it over. You set it down, out of the way.
Just like a dream, the world fades away.
Just like a dream, the world fades away.
in the eyes just like that. You cut them down to size. You lift the world from my shoulders, spin it gently, turn it over. You set it down out of the way. Just like a dream, the world fades away. Just like a dream, the world fades away. Just like a dream, the world fades away. Just like a dream, the world fades away.
We've been very much, inspired by the minstrels that have gone before us, even hundreds of years. And so we'll dedicate this old Irish song to you. We owe a lot of our melodies and ballads to the Irish in the land of song. Anybody got any Irish in them here?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
You see those hands go up? That's why they call them the bashful Irish. We dedicate this to all of you on this very special night, and because we wish you all happiness, we wish you prosperity as well, but above all, we wish you good health.
Yeah, so.
This is an old, early 1800s song. You being our good company tonight is called a health to the company.
Yeah, feel free to sing along.
Here's a health to the company and one to my lass. Let us drink and be merry, all out of one glass. Let us drink and be merry, all grief to refrain. All we may hold and then all be eternity. Kind friends and companions, come join in my rhyme and lift up your voices in chorus with mine. Come drink and be merry, all grief to refrain. All we may hold and never all meet again. So here's a health to the company and one to my lass. Let us drink and be merry, all out of one glass. Let us drink and be merry, all grief to refrain. All we may hold and never all meet again.
Ready to sail. I wish you safe passage past all drums and gales. And if ever we should meet again on land or on sea, I will always remember your kindness to me. So there's a health to the company and one to my lass. Let us drink and be merry, all out of one glass. Let us drink and be merry, all grief to refrain. All we may hold and never all meet again. Steps may falter, my wit it might fail. My cause may be challenged by no wind gale. Ere fortune shall prove to be friend or be foe, you will always be with me wherever I go. Health to you all. So there's a health to the company and one to my lass. There's a
from one glass. Let's drink up in hurry, hungry third night. Oh, we may all and never all meet again.
Whenever we sing, there's that one line, we might never meet here again. I mean, we'll meet here again, but it'll never be this exact same configuration of people, so.
Or not.
Or maybe it will. I just feel like that line, I just feel like it's so special.
Well, this is a Mando cello. I'm going to put it aside. Normally, I don't get to go out and say hi to people like I did this time. I usually get back or tuning. This is supposed to be tuned like a cello.
A bow cello, yeah, but it's a little.
It almost is tuned like one.
We're gonna do
A sing-along.
Yay.
Oh, this is
You wanna sing?
this is a beautiful song for this COVID time period too, I think. Listen to the words. Now, this was written by two people, one of which we have met and one which we did not. This was written by Pete Seeger and King Solomon.
Many years apart. You know the story. Pete Seeger wrote Turn, 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 getting most of the words from the book of Ecclesiastes in the Bible. And it was on the top of the hit parade. I remember when it came out of the radio in 1965, the Byrds made it a big hit. So I bet a lot of you know this, and you could help us sing it.
And we got a job playing at a convent for Asian nuns, mostly retired. We thought, well, that'll be different, you know.
At a CC Heights in Rochester. A lot of you know
And,
that
you know,
place.
and we thought, well, this will be good. We can do this. And we started writing a song list for those of you who are musicians. And we'd write down this, we go, I don't know. Well, that's that one line in there, you know. And so we did learn this one for that event. But, you know, we got there, and it was a beer and pizza party. So
It was their monthly birthday party.
so everything was fun.
They were open-minded, yeah. We didn't know what to sing. We were going to do Tiny Bubbles, but it mentions wine. And Curtis had a Hawaiian shirt on, and his
And
sister
these are
said,
Catholic nuns, you know.
his sister said, well, are you going to do that song, Tiny Bubbles? We're like, I don't know, is that okay? She said, of course. And then they were doing the hula and stuff. They were
So,
wonderful.
you know,
They're so open-minded.
we
Anyway.
love their
They did
experiences.
They did love the song. It's a wonderful.
And the lady that booked us, she said, and now I want you to mingle with them too, you know, and they're all sitting at their tables. And now, what are the names of those cloistered nuns that don't talk to anybody, much less men?
The Poor Clares, and there's a segment of Poor Clares that
So
live
after
in
we're
that
done, I look
town.
over in the corner and there's this table of ladies, so, well, those poor dears, they
He's
look
over there
lonely,
talking
you
to
know.
them. And I'm like, I said to the sisters,
Well,
I
they're
was like-
talking
and
back.
especially,
They're kind of mumbling, I have to admit.
I saw them over there, and I said to this one nun, I said, oh my gosh, he's talking to the Poor Clares. They're like a cloister. They're retired, so they gave up their own convent and came to CC Heights. And I said, and supposedly you're not supposed to talk to these men.
I had no idea.
She said they're the most liberated cloistered nuns I've ever.
They were dancing on the table.
No, they weren't. No dancing. We didn't dance either. So we're gonna do this. And help us out. Turn, turn, turn.
To everything, turn, turn, turn. There is a season, turn, turn, turn. And a time to every purpose under heaven.
Time to be born, a time to die, a time to plant, a time to reap, a time to kill, a time to heal, a time to laugh, a time to weep.
To everything, turn, turn, turn. There is a season, turn, turn, turn. And a time to every purpose under heaven. A time to build up, a time to break down, a time to dance, a time to mourn, a time to cast away stones, a time to gather stones together. To everything, turn, turn, turn. There is a season, turn, turn, turn. And a time to every purpose under heaven.
A time of love, a time of hate,
to everything turn, turn, turn. There is a season, turn, 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 and a time to every purpose under heaven. A time to gain, a time to lose, a time to rend, a time to sow, a time of love, a time of hate, a time for peace. I swear it's not too late. Everybody now. To everything turn, turn, turn. There is a season, turn, turn, turn. And a time to every purpose under heaven. And a time to every purpose under heaven.
Oh, yeah. That was beautiful. Thank you. All
Well,
right.
I'm beginning to realize why I normally spend half time tuning, but hey, I think
We were bad, we didn't tune. Well, we tuned before, but not during intermission.
Yeah, in vaudeville it was like eggs and tomatoes, you know. They didn't like it, they throw eggs and tomatoes, but you know, Minnesota, especially this time of year, tomatoes are so expensive. So you used to just have to worry about eggs. But geez, eggs cost a small fortune now too, so times are getting, you know, pretty good for musicians. No, I read, like in Shakespearean times at the Globe Theater, if they didn't like you, they threw cabbages. So you see, humanity is progressing. We're getting better and better and better. We don't throw cabbages anymore, usually. Yeah, we gotta do this one for
We're gonna do this for
Steven. We played this the first time we played here probably
You
2.5
back there,
decades ago.
Is he here? Yes, he's there,
Well,
yeah.
it's more than that. It's more like 35.
I don't remember the first year we played it, sometime in the 90s, maybe about the early 90s.
Last century, anyway.
Last century, it's the last century. We were much younger. But we sang this and Steven's always, we've always loved this song too. We've
Has
got-
anybody ever picked apples, pears, lettuce?
Like for a company,
You know, that-
like
you know,
industrial.
in the old days, you know, with in agricultural towns, you know, they would take off of school. You know, the kids wouldn't go to school. They go harvest. And for decades now, you know, you don't see too many teenagers out working in the fields. I put it that way. Just, you know, times have changed, and so I on several occasions would go to the Okanagan Valley when I was like 20, 21, whatever, from Hawaii. Anyway, it's a long story, but I'd go there and I'd pick apples and pears, and really, it was mostly illegal people from Mexico, total bums and alcoholics and hippies. That was everybody that was picking your fruit. And if you got a job, I found this out, the first year I got a job on a corporation orchard, it was like being in prison, in bunk beds, and, you know, I mean, it was horrible. And then some people say, well, you got to go to the little family
Smaller.
old orchards where, you know, the laws don't allow the people to come legally, but they come to the same place every year. The people that own the orchards give English lessons at night, and it was really kind of a beautiful thing. But I just play this Woody Guthrie song, but that first year I was on that corporation orchard, and it was the end of the season. The last apple was just about picked, and then all of a sudden this huge posse showed up of sheriffs and policemen and such as that, and they just started arresting everybody that had been there the whole season on that last day. You
You
know,
gotta get the apples.
it made me sick.
Before they got their paycheck.
So I learned this song in the picking shacks.
Yeah.
No Woody Guthrie
Woody
song.
Guthrie. So help us out, I bet you know this.
Well, I kind of changed the words. Woody wouldn't mind, because I just learned it around the campfire and sang it to myself for a few days. I folk processed it.
D4Ds, right?
That's all right. All the crops are all in, and the peaches are run. The oranges are packed in their creosote dumps. They're flying us back to the Mexican border. They take all our money, we'll way back again. Goodbye to my one, goodbye Rosalita. deportees. My father's own father, he waited at a river. They took all the money he'd made from his toil. He worked in your orchards, he slaved on your farmland. He rode them big trucks till he laid down and died. Goodbye to my Juan, goodbye Rosalita. Adios, mis amigos, Jesus and Maria. You won't have no name when you ride the big airplane. All they will call you will be deported. So when Guthrie was riding and listening to the car radio, they said, oh, there's been a big plane crash down in Los Gatos. News to come, and they came back and they said, oh, it was just a plane load of deportees. So
No big deal.
that's when he wrote the song. Oh, the sky plane caught fire over Los Gatos Canyon. A fireball of lightning and it shook all our hills. And who are these friends? They're all scattered like the dry leaves. The radio said, well, they're just deportees. Goodbye to my Juan, goodbye Rosalita. Adios, mis amigos, Jesus and Maria. You won't have no name when you ride the big airplane. All they will call you will be deported. Now is this the best way to grow our big orchards and treat our close neighbors from old Mexico? And the land of the brave and the home of the free, all we will call you will be deported. Let's do it in English now. Goodbye to my John, goodbye to my Rosie, goodbye to my friends, oh Jesus and Mary. You won't have no name when you ride the big airplane. All they will call you will be deported. Oh yeah, now. Goodbye to my Juan, goodbye Rosalita. Adios, mis amigos, Jesus and Maria. You won't have no name when you ride the big airplane. All they will call you will be deported. And all they will call you will be deported. All right, she's brave. She wants to try this brand spanking new song, and I am still out of tune. I
I'm a
cannot
lot of tune too.
stand
We're
it.
gonna work on it. We're gonna work on it.
Being out of tune for musicians is like being in a non-padded room.
Right? How many musicians we got? I know we got a bunch of them in here. I talked to some. Yeah.
It's like being locked in the closet. Did anybody do any house cleaning during the initial COVID?
The big lockdown. Were you home cleaning and cleaning up?
Boy, I sure did. How'd you guys get away with that?
Some people did.
And it's not a honey-do list, I realize. Not she leaves me in the dust when it comes to working. It's a honey's do. I would just, she would give me suggestions. Sometimes written down.
He's making all this up.
But the whole time she was just, going 90 miles an
After
hour.
about a year, though, I kind of let up a little. I'm like, I just got tired. But I wrote a few songs during the pandemic, and shoulder surgery too. I had a little tear in my rotator cuff, so then I couldn't play. So I would just sit there every day and just write stuff down with my left hand and not.
I waited on her hand and shoulder.
He did. He really took good care of me. So this is when I wrote the words, and then I made up the music later after my arm hurt. So this is about cleaning out closets of all types. There's more than just regular closets. looks pretty big. It's so big. Almost. We're doing this for your own good. And for us too. All right, this is called. One more time. This is called Karmic Closet.
So there's a lot of that going on too, I think, during this COVID.
I have a lot of time to think about karma. 1, 2, 3, 4. I gotta clean out my karmic closet, do good deeds for a deposit, throw on things I don't wanna wear, old baggage piled up everywhere. I'm gonna have to say a prayer. Oh Lord, it's a mess in there. I got words hanging from a day when I met a car in the intersection. We were there at a four-way stop, but he took my turn, did not stop. All the words I used that day, they still make myself blush today. Gotta clean out my karmic closet, do good deeds for a deposit, throw on things I don't wanna wear, old baggage is piled up everywhere. I'm gonna have to say a prayer. Oh Lord, there's a mess in there. I can walk in where cobwebs still are, the things I wanted that were not mine. My friend got her a brand new car, and she became a great big star, but it hardly felt jealous at all of Carnegie Hall would call. Gotta clean up my karmic closet, and do good deeds for a deposit, throw on things I don't wanna wear, old baggage piled up everywhere. I'm gonna have to say a prayer. Oh Lord, there's a mess in there. Take a good verse. Lots of guilt in that closet, folks I should have called but did not. Late night binges and chocolate and the times I did not take a stand, and I forgot my dog outside in the rain all night one time.
Oh, Loretta.
Gotta clean out my karmic closet, and do good deeds for a deposit, throw on things I don't wanna wear, old baggage piled up everywhere. I'm gonna have to say a prayer. Oh Lord, it's a mess in there. Oh, when I get things organized and sweep it up, let in some fresh air, walk the neighbor's dog a few times, and pay for someone else's lawn, well then polish up your shoes, or swear I'll pay all my dues. I gotta clean out my karmic closet, do good deeds for a deposit, throw on things I don't wanna wear, old baggage piled up everywhere. I'm gonna have to say a prayer. Oh Lord, there's a mess in there. I'm gonna have to say a prayer. Oh Lord, there's a mess in there.
We got time for maybe 3 more songs.
And then the big rally. That's not a rally, it's a
Raffle.
raffle.
We could rally around a raffle.
I knew it was one of those.
The Poinsettia raffle.
We'll do another biographical ballad.
Key of 4.
This, you know,
Key of 1.
you don't play music because you're going to make much money at it. You do it because you love to do it. And it's such a beautiful thing to travel around the country and be in the presence of labors of love, volunteer energy, places like this, all these amazing phenomena, venues around the country, you know, that are there just because enough people care about it to cause them to happen. And you meet a lot of wonderful people And so here's a biographical ballad song, and I think this is amazing. This was, Loretta heard about a lady from Florida that was just on the internet one night. She heard about this little Minnesota girl from Pine City, Minnesota that had been on dialysis almost since the day she was born, and she needed a kidney, and she was just about to die. And this lady thought, well, I have the same blood type, I'll send my blood in, and sure enough, she was a match. And she flew up to Rochester, and she ended up donating a kidney to this little girl.
And that just, this light went off in my head. I thought, man, what a great song that would be. So I kind of watched it for a while, and eventually I got a hold of her and said, we're going to be down in Florida doing some concerts, and can I come to interview you? So we did. She said yes, and it was so cool to meet her. She's like one of my heroes.
Is her ballad?
It's called, you ready? You want to tune some more? Give him a chance. I'm going to talk some more.
Well, and when we interviewed her, we got to say this. She had been on the national news for like a few days, however long you're on it. And we asked, Loretta said, can I write you a song about you and interview you? We're going to be in Florida. She said she was a little gun shy. She was like, I don't really, this is something I just did from my heart, and I don't really, need any more publicity about it. And she said, besides, if you write this song, what? You think people are going to hear it and donate organs to people they don't know? We said, yeah, probably not, But then she said, well, maybe it'll make them check that donor box on their driver's license.
Check the donor box.
So I felt like a real hero, because I checked that the first year. I've been doing it for decades. I'm beginning to feel like, what good does it do? I've got this vision of myself surrounded by doctors next to a dumpster. And they're chopping me up and tossing me in the dumpster. We can't use this stuff, but I keep checking it in. This lady's really cool.
No, they say there's always something that you could be harvesting.
Yeah, they say that. Yeah.
So check. That's what
What's
they
the name
call
of the song?
harvesting, don't they? Harvesting organs. It's called When There's Good to Be Done. One.
Christy was online and she was there all alone. Minnesota girl caught her eye. Usually she'd stroll on by. Sick kids were too sad. Was it an angel that said don't pass? And 7 weeks old. You might be my hero. Is your blood type O? Christy said yes, picked up the phone, and she said, what that's good to be done, you must do it. You can't wait for someone else to get to it. I knew that was God's plan and see me through. How could I say no? When I could do this. She told her husband about the girl. If she was a Sarah, we would search the world. A battery of tests were begun. Up north for final ones. 6 months since that day. You're the perfect match, they called to say. She got back on that online page, sent a message to the mom, and she did say,
was God's plan to see me through. How could I say no when I could do it?
On a bright Minnesota day, Christy woke up and she was feeling pain. The very first thing she did say was, "Are you on okay?" She gave life that day, and the purest joy was Christy's pay. And she said,
When it's good to be done, you must do it. Can't wait for someone else to get to it. I knew it was God's plan to see me through. How could I say no when I could do it?
when it's good to be done, we must do it.
When it's good to be done, we must do it.
When it's good to be done, we must do it.
Christy
Yes,
Harvey.
we have. Yeah, and we got to call Christy back a couple of years ago, or a year ago or so. We were up in, where was that? Grand Marais. We did a radio show up in Grand Marais. We played that song. A couple of months later, they sent us an email and said, you know, there was a guy listening to that show, and he decided to donate a kidney to somebody he didn't know.
Yeah, he was inspired to do that, and he said, we heard you could hear his interview on the radio, they archived it. He said, but I didn't know anybody that I didn't know that needed a kidney, so couldn't find anybody. So he called a hospital in the Twin Cities, and they said, oh yeah, we got all kinds of people you can donate to or get tested. And he was a perfect match for somebody in California. And that person in California had somebody that wanted to donate to them, but they weren't a perfect match, so that person donated to someone else. It started this whole chain, and I don't know how
I got to
people...
phone up Christy and tell her what she did.
And I don't know how people have that bravery, that courage, so I donate blood once in a great while, and that's it for me.
It was very, very special that you folks came here tonight. And isn't this a lovely room? Look at the old building.
It's so beautiful to see people in here again.
Old wood loves vibration.
It's so beautiful to see people here again, and we thank you all for coming. We're going to do just a couple more songs.
Yeah, we'll do one on Duke and one on Banjo. Sure do appreciate you folks coming out.
And you can probably see on the stage band, there's just all these names, all the bands that have signed the walls. And all the people have sat in these seats, and even before they had music here, Steven tells us about him having dances up here and selling chickens and stuff. It's like there's just full of history in here. I feel like all these souls are still, all this energy is still here. Yeah. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, it's been years since Elvis was here, though.
Elvis. Did Elvis play here?
Sang the wall. All right. I'm going to try, just for fun, I'm going to try and locate Elvis. Channel a little Elvis.
Okay.
I am Pompadour challenged, but I won't let it stop me. I can smell peanut butter and bananas.
Oh, I bet you know these. It's a little medley.
Please only view me from the waist up.
Like
You guys are too young for Ed Sullivan. When Elvis first played on Ed Sullivan, they would only film him from the waist up.
Because he was a
But
wild dancer.
my hip swiveling days are kind of gone the way of my pompadour.
Ed Sullivan, if he could see TV now, he wouldn't believe what's on there now. So, you know these, so help us with this a little bit.
In the Colorado, for the show. 3, you gotta ride it on, go, gotta go, but don't you step on my blue suede shoe. You can do the thing, but I offer my blue suede shoe. You can knock me down, smash my face, you can sign my name all over the place. You can do anything you wanna do, all the honey, lay off of my shoes, now don't you step on my blue suede shoe. You can do anything, lay off of my blue suede shoe. You burn my house, wreck my car, trick my lip from an over jaw. You can do anything you wanna do, all the honey, lay off my shoes, now don't you step on my blue suede shoe. You can do the thing, but I have to blue suede shoe. 1 for the moon, 2 for the show, 3, I'll run it all, go, can't go, but don't you step on my blue suede shoe. You can do the thing, but I have to blue suede shoe. Well, blue suede shoe, blue suede shoe. You can do the thing, but I have to blue suede shoe.
Yeah, we're gonna end up with one in band.
One more sing-along. Oh, this is such a great, I wouldn't be anywhere else here, I tell you.
Yeah. And well, I know Curtis thanked the volunteers at the beginning. We've got to thank them again. We got here really early thinking they might need help, getting set up. We got here, there was like people everywhere doing all kinds of stuff, and they've been here helping Steven get ready because there haven't been any concerts for so long that things needed to get arranged. And man, it was like a beehive.
It was
activity.
wonderful.
It was beautiful.
I had taken 3 ibuprofen for my back, expecting that I would actually have to do some work, but
we
we
just
were-
stood up and also.
saved by you.
So
Everybody's under
thank
it.
you, everybody. We're going to end up with a call and answer sign. This is from the 1880s. Hand Me Down, my walking cane. It kind of had a revival in the 1930s and 40s. My mother had the sheet music to this. But I don't think she ever sang the words because a little bit
Well,
racy.
the thing is that a lot of these, a lot of these old American ballads deal with questionable issues, But they do it for a good reason. They channel down to the end of the ballad where a profound moral lesson may be passed on to the public. And I think at least 50% of the people in the United States will agree with the message of this song, which is, I should have listened to what my mama said. It's heavy, I know.
We should have all listened.
Profound. I tell you, while she's tuning, I don't know, I gotta find a beauty shop, don't you think? I got this banjo nail, and it's gone right now. It's so hard to play banjo. I'm paranoid of walking into a beauty shop, though. It scares me to death. And plus to go in there and go, I just need one fingernail.
I'm sure for the right price, they'd sell you one fingernail.
I don't, yeah, but who knows what they do to you in there.
I'll go with you.
I'll go with you.
I've never been one either. I just, if I'm playing harp, I just cut my fingernails down to the nail. That's it. Here we go.
All right, sing this with us, and everybody spread the word. Get people to come back for the next time there's a show.
And but don't go away, because as soon as this
Oh,
song
yeah.
is done, we're gonna draw 2 names for the raffle for these 2 beautiful
It's the grand
poinsettias.
finale.
And we're sure to talk about them to the counter. If you want one of those kittens, put your order in. Whatever you're doing with that.
So just sing what Loretta sings. Call and answer.
I'm saying what you sing.
Now hand me down
Hand me down,
my walking cane.
my walking cane.
Hand me down
Hand me down,
my walking
my
cane.
walking cane.
Well, hand me down my walking cane. I'm gonna ride that midnight train. All my sins I'll take away. Now hand me down
Hand me down,
that jug of corn.
that jug of corn.
Now hand me down
Hand me down,
that jug of corn.
jug of corn.
Well, hand me down that jug of corn. We'll have time, shows you're born. All my sins I'll take away. I had too much,
Had too much,
and I went to jail.
and I went to jail.
Well, I had too much,
Well, I had too much,
and I went to jail.
and I went to jail.
Well, I had too much, and I went to jail, and nobody came to go my bail. All my sins all taken away. Oh, the beans was hard,
The beans was hard,
and the meat was fat.
and the meat was fat.
Oh, the beans was hard,
Those beans was hard,
and the meat was
and the meat was
fat.
fat.
Well, the beans was hard, and the meat was fat. Lord, I couldn't eat nothing like that. All my sins all taken away. Well, I wish I had listened
I wish I'd listened.
what my mama said.
What Mama said,
Well, if I had listened
if I'd listened,
what mama said.
what Mama said.
Well, if I listened what mama said, I'd be sleeping in a feather bed. Oh, my sins all taken away. Now hand me down,
Hand me down,
my walking cane.
my walking cane.
Hand me down,
Hand me down,
my walking cane.
my walking cane.
Well, hand me down my walking cane. I'm gonna ride that midnight train. All my sins all taken away. Yes, they are. All my sins all taken away. Oh, you're very, very kind indeed. Oh, we're doing this.
We're gonna test through
Okay.
and pick out the names.
Watch this very closely.
Why?
We want everybody to believe it was done in the proper way.
Okay, Chris, pick up
Oh,
one
I
name.
don't know. See if you could get a dog to do it. You know, they're always honest. Okay, this is. The worst gig we ever did was at this building where an Irish guy left like $30,000 and they had to spend it all in one day. And they spent it all on whiskey, beer, and corned beef. And they gave away a new car and $10,000. And we were playing on stage, the guy kept telling us to turn it up, turn it up. And he came out and he said, "This is for the new car."
And nobody,
Nobody would shut up.
it was so loud, no one would
It
even.
was all loud.
So you just.
And we figured, this was actually right before he went on stage to sing. We thought, man, if you can't get the audience's attention for a new car, we are screwed. All right, here's the news.
You got one or two? You get one?
Am I supposed to get two all at once?
No,
Pick
get
them
one.
out one at a time.
Yeah, one at a time.
You gotta put
He's
your
got his
glasses-
reading glasses. We need a drum roll. The first winner is
No. Patrick Halloran, the couch
Yay.
guy.
the couch guy. All right.
Patrick Halloran. Well, Patrick, I don't mean to make any suggestions to you at all, but if I were to win a whole bunch of flowers, you know what I would do with them real quick?
What?
Give them to a girl.
One
Just,
more.
just what I would do, of course. All right, one more. Here we go. Oh. Do you have a doctor in the house?
What? You need help with your eyes?
Earth?
The doctor's left.
Hurley. Lancy. Lance? Herda. Pete.
Heath Longa or Lanja? Or Heidi?
Hey.
Hertha. No, it's just a beautiful name. I've
She's
never
a
heard that
doctor.
name.
Look at that. Oh.
It's just a beautiful name I've never heard before. Thank you. Let's give those two a big hand. We'll let you go home now.
Everybody drive home careful. And thank you so much for coming. And yeah. Oh, one more? Oh, okay.
Keep your
Well, it
mind-
is that time of year. Anybody ever been to Florida? Oh yeah, Florida's cool. You know, down. I mean, I was born. But people, when you go there, they always say, "Well, why in the heck do you live in Minnesota?" It's because we had like 6-7 months out of the year with no bugs. I mean, a roach almost got away with my little papillon down in Florida. I mean, that's serious
That's a big
stuff down
roach.
there. We have no python or anaconda problem up here, you know.
Yeah, and did you
So
ever,
we'll dedicate this to them.
did you ever see the love bugs in Florida? We were driving through there one time and they were like, we had to use the windshield wipers. There's these love bugs that they like stick together during mating season.
If you let them dry, the paint will come off your
Yeah,
car.
we got to
That's
our
absolutely
friend's
true.
house and they power washed our car. We're like, really? They said, if you don't get them off right away, you'll never get them off. They don't wash
They'll
them.
say fly around like this. They're a bunch of perverts.
They're stuck together. Anyway, that's the last
But there
one.
ain't no bugs on us, not in the winter time.
Help us sing this. I bet you know that.
Drive home careful. Go home and do something good. Well, June bug flies in the month of June and lightning bug in May. That mosquito flies every old time. He ain't gonna stay. No, there ain't no bugs on me. There ain't no bugs on me. There may be bugs on some of but there ain't no bugs on me. The mosquito he flies high, the mosquito he flies low. The mosquito flies around me. He ain't gonna fly no more. No, there ain't no bugs on me. There ain't no bugs on me. There may be bugs on some of but there ain't no bugs on me. Well, I know there's bugs on her. There might be bugs on you. There ain't no bugs in the old man's beard, and maybe one or two, but there ain't no bugs on me. There ain't no bugs on me. There may be bugs on some of you, but there ain't no bugs on me. Well, the honey bear gets a bee. The old dog gets a flea. There ain't no bugs in the old man's beard, maybe 2 or 3, but sing it up.
Bugs on me. There ain't no bugs on me. There may be bugs on some of us, but there ain't no bugs on me.
Every ballad has to have a sad verse. This happens in Wisconsin. Some bugs live by the big highway and people drive like nuts. And when they hit your old windshield, it's a sing-along, there ain't nothing left but... Yeah, there ain't. You're poets. There ain't no bugs on me. There may be bugs on some of us, but there ain't no bugs on me.
Thanks, everybody. Thanks, Steven. Mostly all to Steven for making this all happen all these years.